Hello everyone, this is Tamera, and here we are for our May It's a Snack. Today we're going to be making easy sheet pan chicken bake. Now I have substituted a couple of things, but not much, so you'll be able to do this at home. So maybe you haven't used the sheet pan recipe before, but it's very simple because we're very busy. We still don't want a lot of ingredients, and we don't want to take a lot of time in the kitchen, right? So this is just a one-pan meal that you bake in a sheet pan for your family. This one, Easy Sheet Pan Baked Chicken, is coming out of our NEP Snap 2019 calendar. I know it's 21, however, we have a lot of great recipes and we tend to go back to some of those, and this is one of the great ones. For this recipe, I have all the ingredients here that we're going to need. We're going to be using chicken, bell pepper, I've added potatoes, and our spices. So we're going to be slicing up our vegetables, putting them in the pan. I'm using chicken thighs. Now when you see this recipe, it's going to say chicken breast or skinless chicken, tenderloins, or whatever you choose to use. The chicken that you like, use it. Just understand you may have to vary the cooking times. Okay? Stick cooking spray. We're going to need chili powder, paprika, garlic powder, salt and pepper, olive oil, of course our chicken, and our bell peppers. And I have 4 bell peppers. It only calls for 3, but I have 4 because of the color variety. And I like for our foods to look pleasing, like you just want to just get in there and enjoy it. And we have red onion, okay? So the first thing we're going to do, we preheat our oven to 400, and then we spray our pan. This is a sheet pan, and I have covered it in foil. You don't have to do that, but I find that it's easier to clean up once you put it in foil. And then we're going to spray it. Okay, just spray it lightly, and I'm going to set it to the side. Okay, now in a bowl, I'm going to put our spices together. These are the spices that I call for in the recipe, but if you have some favorite spices that you like, feel free to use those. It does contain salt, so if you're trying to reduce sodium, there are other items that you can use. Here's one that I found. It's a salt-free vegetable seasoning. I have not used this one before, but I do use the Mrs. Dash's and all those other salt-free, so feel free to use something like that if you want. Depending on the flavor you want. You might want yours to taste like a taco seasoning, then use taco seasoning. But for this one, we're just going to move forward with this. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to put those spices together. So the first thing we need here is 1 teaspoon of paprika. Okay, the next thing we need is 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. Garlic smells good. Time I smell garlic makes me think you can really cook if I smell garlic, but we know better than that. It smells good. Okay, half a teaspoon of salt, or salt-free seasoning if you want to use that. Let's see what else we need. Okay, so we're going to mix those up. Okay, now if y'all want a fork, I'm just going to mix those seasonings all together. Got to add the pepper. Let's add pepper. Half a teaspoon of pepper. If you like more pepper, add more pepper. One thing about these types of recipes, you can adjust them to your liking. So let's get that pepper in there. So, how many of you all want to know some techniques to cut your green peppers or your peppers? Most of you probably know that already, but one way to do it is to make sure, sometimes we cut the bottoms off, but this was pretty flat, so I'm going to leave it like that. But just cut as close to that cord as you can. And there you see we have one cut there. Okay, there's a second one. You're trying not to have all the seeds, and if you just stay outside that core, you won't have the seeds. So there we are. And if you have a few, just knock those off. And if you're going to stuff that pepper, I'll just use this one as an example. We might just go down in the middle of the pepper and turn the pepper around. Again, these are kind of flat, so I didn't need to cut off the bottoms. And it's got a little handle there for me too, if I wanted to do that. Use it. Cut down in there. I'm trying not to sneeze after I use that pepper. So we're going to pull that out. And you just go on around till you get it all out. You gotta make sure your knife's really sharp too. This was not the best. But pull all that out until it's pretty hollow inside. And your pepper would be hollow on the inside, then you stuff it however way you want it to. But since we aren't stuffing, we're going to be putting these in julienne strips. I just wanted to show you that. Peppers have plenty of vitamins in them. They have vitamin K, E, and A. They have folate. So it's good stuff in peppers. And once you roast them, they become sweet, some of them, so that's an added benefit. So that's why I wanted to add a potato. You might want rice with this dish, but I just chose potatoes because, again, we can bake those too and roast those. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing as I did with the first green pepper. I'm just going to slice it. Try to stay away from the membrane part so I don't have all the seeds. But, I mean, if you get the seed, sometimes it's okay. You just do what you need to do to. I had them on there. See there? I have a little bit of the seed there, and I can just cut that out. Go in there and cut that out. You might like to use a larger knife. I tend to like small knives or just little shelf knives that are very small, not the real big one. I just seem to handle it better myself. So do what works for you. So they look about that size. If you want them larger, you can do larger. You might want a thicker cut, or you might want it in half, like that. Okay. So I'm just going to strip these. If you notice my placemat, not my placement, I'm sorry, my cutting board that I have is green to represent that I am using it for vegetables and or fruit. You always want to use a cutting board. You don't want to mix the two by cutting meat and vegetables on the same one to avoid cross-contamination. So I always do that. And I'm cutting these. You want them to uniform, you know, but there it goes. And I'm gonna put them, I have chicken thighs because I just love the meat on chicken thighs. So that's what I'm using instead of chicken breast. So I'm gonna put this in with the chicken, the vegetables in with the chicken as I cut. And one thing I want to tell you about this chicken now, I was going to get the thighs yesterday. I could have gotten them with the skin on, which would have been a little cheaper. However, I chose to get the ones that were already skinless. But if you want to even save more money, you can take the skin off yourself. And you save a few dollars. It was quite a bit. It was almost like $2 difference. So, depending on what you want to do. So now we have yellow. So this is going to be very colorful when we're done. Throw that away. As you can see, this is not going to take very long. So if you had some other meeting you need to go to or get back out to a kid's sporting activity, you can prepare this meal very quickly. We've got one more pepper to go. So this is the one that I was using as an example. If you're going to stuff it, you just want to make sure all the membrane is out when you do that. I love how they smell. You know, so we can use peppers in a lot of different recipes, including our salads and other dishes, which you probably already do that. And of course, we can eat them raw. And we know we don't get enough fruits and vegetables in our diet, so any way that we can is going to be beneficial. Look, we've got all of our veggies in here. We've got green, red, yellow, and orange bell pepper and the chicken. Now, onions have an irritant in it that does tend to make us tear up, but there are ways that we can kind of reduce that. Doesn't work all the time, but I have found it beneficial. So I tend to cut my onion in half, like this, and I lay it down because for whatever reason, I feel like that aroma and all that stuff is coming from the bottom. But then I peel off this thicker layer, like so. And since I'm going to have chunks or slices, whichever you prefer, I just take this knife and just go through it. I kind of keep it together and just go down, depending on the size that you want, and slice through it, or turn it around, slice the other way, and I feel like I'm done. And I do smell that irritant, but it's not as bad. You can also put an onion in the refrigerator for a little while, and you see I've already got my chunks in here that I need. Just break them apart there. Now, some onions have this little tail, and I kind of use it as a guide too, depending on which way if I'm dicing, then I might go this way and then back the other way, and then it's already diced, and then I cut the tail off. But for now, it's on here, and I'm just gonna do the same thing we were doing to complete this. And again, I'm gonna turn it around. And now I'll cut the tail off. I don't know if it's called a tail, I'm calling it a tail, okay? Don't judge me. All right, so here we go. We got our onions in here. Everything's so colorful, right? So we have it all in there. So we're going to drizzle olive oil on it. It says 3 tablespoons of olive oil because I have more chicken in here. I possibly may need more. Just gonna drizzle it. And I'm going to use another one just in case. And then I'll just kind of see where I'm at after that, because who knows, I may need another. Okay. Get rid of some of this. You notice that I have a paper towel, a damp paper towel under here. It's to keep it from sliding around. So that's, or dishcloth, you could do that. All the veggies, and I think the oil is okay. So I'm going to go ahead and place this on the pan, and then I'll come back and do the potatoes. Smells good, I can tell you that. Okay, so we got the chicken on there, and like I said, we have 8 chicken thighs. I'm going to set it aside and come back and do my potato side. Okay, so here we go with the potatoes. Not going to peel these, they have been washed, all the veggies are washed, but I am going to, and don't worry about these little nicks. If you don't like the nicks, you've got a nick issue, just cut them off. But they don't bother me, it's not rot or anything like that. So I'm just gonna slice the potato. The thinner the potato is, the quicker to cook. So I'm just gonna slice it like that. Now, normally, you know, when you're slicing, you're gonna have your knife down this way. Old habits are hard to break sometimes, but you want to have your knife to a point, and you want your item under your fingers where you really are in great control of that knife, and just go down where it shouldn't really be leaving the cutting board. But you know, as they say, when you know better, you do better. But the job still gets done. Okay, so we got potatoes right there. I'm gonna do these. I could have cut the potato in half so that it's flat this way. So you see that it's flat. And now when I put my knife down, and go down. I'm just making a rocking motion. And it really doesn't even have to leave the cutting board. Okay, and so I've got potatoes, and I've got them this size. So depending on how you want your potatoes even, you know, or you can have them like this. Now the ends that you don't like, toss them.
Is there any value to leaving the skins on there, Tamera?
Well, there are nutrients in them. There's fiber, of course, so some people have texture issues and they don't like skin on their potatoes and fries, but I think it's good. You know, I've even eaten the skin on the sweet potatoes, so there you go. So I'm going to not put these in there, but I'm just going to place the potatoes in different places because they were extra. Okay. So I'm just kind of strategically placing that. But I tell you what I am going to do, since the chicken was seasoning with the mixture I put together, I think I'm going to try the no salt seasoning that I mentioned to you earlier and use that on the potatoes. And you could also use some additional salt and pepper. And I'm sure, let's see what spices are in here. Onion, garlic, black pepper, thyme, basil, red bell pepper, tomato, and some other things. Turmeric's in here, parsley. So we should have some good flavors come out of that. So I'm just going to shake a little of that on the potatoes. It smells really good, guys. So, here's our one pan meal ready to go into a 400-degree oven. We're going to cook it for about, it says 20 to 25 minutes, but I have quite a bit of food on here, so you might want to eyeball it and then use your meat thermometer to make sure that chicken reaches the temperature of 165. Here again, here's our finished product, our easy sheet pan chicken. We have a variety of bell peppers, red, yellow, orange, and we added tomatoes and red onion. We are testing our chicken to make sure it reaches the proper temperature of 165. So once you've done all that, you're ready to eat. And just in time, I have a guest who I'm going to share this dish with. Our egg agent, the Keenan Bishop. Come on over, Keenan. I'm going to plate this up for you. And you let us know what you think about it. Now it's hot because it just came out of the oven, so can't be responsible for any injuries.
If it tastes half as good as it smells, it'll be excellent.
Okay, there you go.
So is that your portion and this is mine?
There you go. Let's see what you think. You think you could prepare this at home for your family?
It looks, I mean, as colorful and busy as it looks, looks pretty simple.
Yeah, very simple and very economical. I use chicken thighs, you can use chicken breasts.
And all in one pan?
All
together?
in one pan.
I could do that. I'll take that and I'll let you have this.
All right.
It's
So
excellent.
there you have it. Boat is in. This is a great dish. Fix it for your family. Check out our YouTube channel, webpage, and other social media. It's a snap. Bye.